I wish somebody would have warned me about how loud the silence is the first time the house actually empties out. For years, my days had a rhythm that wasn't really mine. It was built around everyone else: schedules, needs, noise, footsteps in the hallway. And then one day, the kids were gone. They were out living their own lives. And the house just stopped making that noise. I remember standing in my kitchen that first week and not knowing what to do with myself. It wasn't because I didn't have things to do. It was the first time in decades nobody needed anything from me. And that silence did not feel peaceful at first. It actually felt like a void. Let me be completely honest. My first instinct was just to feel the silence. Keep busy, spring cleaning, more cleaning, take on more stuff at work, anything to avoid sitting still long enough to feel whatever was underneath that quiet. I think that's what a lot of us do when we hit this stage in our lives. We treat the emptiness like it's a problem to solve with busyness. But instead, it's actually a season to live in. We look for entertainment. Some of us get depressed, distracted, anything to keep from facing that question underneath, which is, who am I? Now that I organized my whole entire identity around for 20 something years, it's just not a full-time role anymore. So now, what do I do with my time? Busyness sure didn't answer that question for me. It pretty much postponed it. True story. Let me tell you about the time I actually started to change things for me. It wasn't some big spiritual epiphany. It was actually Halloween. This night was full of enchantment. Honestly, before anything even happened, a friend of mine told me about this Halloween party. And she suggested we go and we dress up. And of course, my first response was, girl, please. I am too old to be putting on a costume and dressing up, okay? That's exactly the response that anybody would expect from me. Somebody who spent years being responsible for everyone else, that just didn't fit who I was. So I said, no, girl, I'm not feeling it. I'm too old. I'm too old for that. But my friend, she wasn't having it. She said, girl, come on. Let's be fabulous in our 50s and go have fun. So, after a little bit of convincing, I went out and I bought a cat suit. And honey, I walked into that party swinging my tail in my hand like a confident, grown, and sexy 50 plus woman. I want you to sit with that for a moment because it wasn't really about the costume. It was about the fact that some part of me, the part that used to run free before I had kids and I spent decades being everybody's mother, everybody's employee, everybody's safety net, that part, the free part, she was still in there. She just been quiet, subdued for a long time. And that night, honey, she came out. She got loud again. That's the moment I realized the emptiness wasn't a void I needed to fill with noise. It was actually a room. Room I hadn't had in years. Room to let my inner child run free again instead of just managing everyone else's child. So, what do I actually do now? Let me tell you. This is the season that has turned for me. I say yes to things I would have automatically said no to before, just because they sound fun rather than productive. Dressing up for a silly party, trying something I have no business being good at, like this channel, okay? Dancing in my own living room by myself with the music on full blast and the camera rolling, just because the music is moving me, okay? I've also gotten intentional about staying active in a way that isn't punishing myself into a certain shape, but it's about feeling alive in my body at this age. It might be walks that turn into actual thinking time, or movement that reminds me I still have a body that can surprise me. And I've made room for community again. Not the kind built around carpool schedules and other people's needs, but actual friendship that's built around actually enjoying each other. That friend who talked me into the cat suit, she's part of a whole new season of connection I didn't expect to find at this age. None of this is about replacing my kids with hobbies. It's about remembering that I existed before I was needed by everyone else. And that person still has somewhere to go and something to do. Now, I know it might be a few haters out there, and they may say, girl, you're too old to be dressing up in a cat suit. Here's what I'd say to them. There is no rule book that says confidence and playfulness have an expiration date. The version of me that thought she was too old for that party was operating off of an old script. Nobody actually handed her. She just assumed it was true because that's what women our age are supposed to do. Honey, I'm done operating off assumptions I never really agreed to. Okay? And staying active is not just working out. Not for me. It means anything that reminds me I'm still fully alive in this body. Dancing, walking, trying something new, saying yes to a sporadic invitation I would have declined years ago. Movement of the body and movement of the spirit. Honestly, those things are not that different. Now, you might say, what if I don't know what I actually enjoy anymore after all these years of putting everyone else first? That was me. I really didn't know. I felt lost. I really didn't know who I was. But that's the fun part. The truth is, you might not know right away, and that's okay. But this is how you find out. Say yes to things, even small, slightly uncomfortable things, and pay attention to what makes you feel like yourself again. The cat suit wasn't really about Halloween. It was information. It told me something about who I still was in there. Okay? So, if you're an empty nester, this isn't the end of your story. It's the first blank page you've had in decades. And now you get to decide what goes on it. Not out of obligation, not to feel silence, but because you actually want it there. I stopped trying. I stopped. The silence that I was trying to feel, I stopped asking what I actually wanted to fill it with. And that changed everything. So tell me, what's one thing you've said yes to since your house got quiet that even surprised you? I want to hear about it in the comments. And if this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I share honest conversations like this one every single week. And if you're interested in learning more about some of my lessons and my adventures and triumphs, check out my book, When the Noise Finally Settled. The link is below in the description. So, until the next video, peace and blessings, and I'll see you on the other side.